hello, it's Tuesday, it's 2 o'clock here in the afternoon. That means I am live on the Dixie Belle YouTube channel to all 90, whoa, that was like one of those head wobblers in the cars. Sorry about that, my tripod hit a rut in the floor and did a bit of a wobble. Yeah, to all something like 94,000 subscribers. I don't know, not all 94,000 of you are going to watch this video, but still, I like to say that because it makes me feel better. Hello to 94,000 of you. So that's amazing. Quick plug before we start. I'm Connie. My business is Faff Designs. I also have a YouTube channel, and I am trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year. Now that's a little bit of a push because it's creeping up quick, but I set myself a mini goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of this year, and I'd love to hit it. So if you don't already follow me on YouTube, follow me, subscribe, whatever it is over here. The lingo's different, isn't it, wherever you are? But if you don't subscribe to my YouTube channel, I would love it if you could subscribe. So my business is called Faff Designs, F-A-F-F Designs, as in, a lot of people say, what does it mean? What does faff mean? So here in the UK, faff is a slang word for basically looking busy without achieving much. Looking busy without achieving much. Just like faffing around with paint. That's how it started. And here we are. So that's my YouTube channel. It's only a little channel, but I tried to inject a little bit of humour and silliness into my videos. So if that's your thing, hit me up. Press the subscribe button over on my channel. That'd be much appreciated. And also subscribe here. Subscribe to the Dixie Belle YouTube channel, because then you get alerted to see videos like this one. There's also other people that go live on this channel that are full of knowledge and painty things. And there's also regular edited videos uploaded to this channel also. So that's housekeeping out the way. Anyway, the plug. I've also got doors open, and my dogs have already barked not that long ago. So if you hear dogs barking in the background, it's just my hounds out of control. They want a bit of the limelight, and they tend to make a lot of noise when I am filming. So anyway, hello, I'm live. I am going to show you what I'm doing today with this piece. So I've got a couple of things going on actually in the workshop at the moment, all in various different stages, which sometimes can be a good way to work and sometimes not so great. It's all right if you've got a bit of space, but my workshop is particularly small. So let me just see. Hang on. I can't see any comments. Someone say hello. Last week I made it stay on the screen, so I had just checking I hadn't done anything weird to the settings. I think it's still right, but I can fiddle with it if not. So this is one of the pieces that I'm working on. This is quite early stages for this piece, so I'm going to show you what I'm up to. I'm going to create a kind of industrial farmhouse kind of look, if that is that a thing. I don't know. Hello Audrey. Hello what happens next? Hello Suzanne. Hello, thank you for saying hello and letting me know there, and also letting me know that the comment things work. That's great. So as you can see, this looks different to this because I've already started doing what the thing is that I'm going to show you today. So this is modern pine. It was a find off Facebook Marketplace, and basically I was searching for something for a client for a custom order who's after a very specific kind of look and dimensions to a piece. I thought this was perfect. I was pinging the buyer, the seller, loads and loads of questions. They were probably thinking, I wish this person would just buy it or get lost. But I had to make sure it was right. My customer didn't get back to me for a while, and I had FOMO. I was like, I need it. I'm getting it. Because I thought if it's suitable for a customer, it's a win. If not, I can paint it. It's a win. It's a win-win situation. So I talked myself into going and fetching it. It was £35, so not bad. It's nice pine, but it's modern pine, and normally modern pine has got lots of knots and things in it, which this does have, as you can see behind me. Now, they're not highlighted with brown paint. That is a very, very specific product that I use to stop knots from bleeding through. If you want to see the whole video, this will be on my YouTube channel next week. This week is going to be a cabinet that I'm just finishing up over there. But this will be, the full details of this will be on my channel next week. So like I say, we're going for like a, I'm going to try and make these modern pine drawers look a bit old and knackered, because that's the kind of style that I love. I love stuff with a bit of character, a little bit of attitude. I don't like a pristine, clean finish. I appreciate it, but I love creating something that's a little bit more rustic and full of character. So what I'm doing is giving the effect that this is a dark wood. So I'm going to be distressing the final colour that I add onto here. So to give the impression that it's not orangey kind of modern pine underneath, I'm using a paint wash to give the effect that this is a dark wood stained dark, or a wood stained dark. So I'm actually using the colour Umber from the Silk Mineral Paint line, and I'm using it in a paint tray with a roller and a roller head. Now, you probably haven't seen me roller a huge amount, but that's because this is a brand new product from Dixie Belle. So they've just released this. It's only in retailers at the moment, I think, but it will be on the website to purchase soon. But if you're a retailer and you've got this in stock, or you're taking pre-orders for this, drop your link in the comments below so that people can find you and order from you. So you can either buy this as a kit with the handle, the roller heads, I think they come in a pack of 2, and the tray, or you can just buy the roller heads as replacements, which is really good. So I'm going to be using this for speed. So this is really, really good for using with silk. It works really well. It works with chalk mineral paint also, but it's so good for getting that really clean, kind of modern, one colour finish that silk lends itself really well to. I'm not going to use silk for that purpose today. No, I'm going to use it as a fake wood stain. Now, I know what you're saying. Why aren't you just using a wood stain? There's a couple of reasons. One, drying time. So if I was using No Paint Gel Stain, which is an oil-based wood stain, the drying time is longer on that than what this is. The second thing is it's an oil-based product, so my I'm going to be painting over this. This is just a rough and ready kind of paint wash underneath my final colour that I'm going to be working on. So if I used an oil-based wood stain as my base colour, what would happen is, because it's oil-based, it would probably give me bleed-through issues. So not only is it going to take ages to dry, not ages, but it takes a while to dry, it's also going to probably create issues with bleed-through because it's oil-based, and oil-based things can cause bleed-through problems and such like. So it's not a great idea to put to actually stain this with an oil-based stain. So I'm giving the impression that it's stained. Also, I could use Voodoo Gel Stain because that is a water-based stain, but there's not a product that's dark enough. So Tobacco Road is the darkest brown, and it ain't dark enough for what I need it for. So I want this pretty dark. If you don't want to use Silk Mineral Paint, or if you don't have this colour in Silk Mineral Paint, you can use one of the browns in the Chalk Mineral Paint range, whichever brown you kind of want to go for. So this was stripped back because the varnish on top of this was even orangier than what this is now. So I sanded it all back. There was also quite a lot of scratches, and there was some repair work to do to the bottom where a little puppy dog had chewed the corners. So I had to rebuild the corners. Again, it's all going to be in my YouTube video. So, to give the impression that this is a darker wood or a stained wood that's just a darker finish, because I want the contrast between my paint finish and this to be more than just the orange. I want a darker wood. So all I've done is put a little bit of umber into my paint tray. I've put a small amount of water in. I'm just going to add a tad more because I mixed this a minute ago. before I set up for my live. So I'm just going to mix it around, and this is going to loosen the paint consistency ever so slightly and make it soak into the wood, because this is, like I say, this is raw wood. So this has been sanded back to just the bare wood. There's no finish on this at all. So I'm just going to use my roller for speed. And like I say, it's not going to be perfect. Definitely isn't going to be perfect because I'm using my left hand. For purposes of filming only, I'm using my left hand. And I taught myself to draw and write with my left hand because I broke my right wrist when I was doing my GCSEs in high school. I broke that wrist. So I can kind of do things with my left hand, but not as precise as with my right. So all I'm going to do is just literally whack it on. Now that looks quite a solid brown. It looks like I've painted it brown. It doesn't look like it's stained the wood. It just looks like I've painted that brown. So to give the impression that it's a dark wood grain or it's been stained dark, whilst it's still wet, I'm just going to slightly spray that with water. Morning, Stephanie. And then I'm going to get a lint-free rag, and then I'm just going to wipe it back. Before it has a chance to dry too much, I'm going to wipe it back. Now, if you wanted the solid brown, just don't wipe it back. Just leave it as it is. But I want to be able to see the wood grain like that. Like I say, this is not really going to be seen. It's going to peek through in areas where I'm going to distress the paint finish. So I don't need it to be perfect. If it's a bit patchy, whatever, I don't care at this stage. It's just getting that colour to change from this pale kind of not very nice looking pine to a darker colour. Now, just a word of, not warning, but just to let you know that I have obviously used silk and watered it down. So when silk was first brought out, a lot of people who were kind of promoting silk, me included, we were like, don't add water, don't add water, you don't need to add water, you don't need to add water. There's a reason for that. So if you want silk to do all of the things that it says it does, which it does, so it's got a stain blocking primer in it, built into the paint. It's also got a built-in top coat and all of the things that silk is renowned for, and it does them so well. But if you start adding water to silk, like I have done, any more than 10% water, it starts to compromise those properties of the paint. So you might find if you start adding water to silk, you may need to prime, you will need to add a top coat. So I'm breaking the rules by adding water, but that's because I want this kind of stained finish. I'm not using it as for the purpose that is intended, which is for like a modern sort of one colour flat finish. You can do all of the things with silk. You can blend it, you can add water, you can water it down, you can use it as a paint wash, you can do decorative effects with it, you can layer with it, you can do chippy effects with it. I've broken the rules. I've learnt the rules, and then I've broken the rules. So you can do loads of different things with silk, but what you need to bear in mind is once you have done those things or added any more than 10% water, you will have to bear in mind that you'll probably have to top coat. You will have to top coat because the top coat in there will be just watered down, so it's not going to do its job. And you may get bleed through because you've watered down the stain blocking properties in it. So I just before anybody says like, you're not supposed to add silk, water to silk, blah, blah, blah. That is why I just thought I'd let you know. I probably could have saved all of this hassle and just used coffee bean in the chalk mineral paint range, which would give me a really similar look. But I'm being awkward and I'm using umber. I actually really like the colour umber as well. It is very, very similar to coffee bean, but I don't think it's quite as dark. I don't think. It's very similar though. There's not a lot in it. So the other thing you'll notice is that I've filled, is that filled? I don't know. I've filled the existing hardware holes as well. And also, like I say, down at the bottom in the corners, those two areas have been chewed by a dog. You can see a little bit of filler. Can you see a little bit of filler? So here, for example, you can see the filler. It saves me having to take these drawers out and show you. where that filler is, I mean, I've got replacement handles for here anyway. So that little bit of filler, you're not even going to be able to see it because I've got kind of more industrial farmhousey looking cup handles for here. But where I've got filler, it's not going to obviously, it's not going to absorb my paint in the same way that the rest of the wood does. Thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, it's quiet today, isn't it? It's quiet today. So the filler isn't going to absorb the paint wash in the same way as the rest of the wood. You can also see it on the top because someone went a little bit kind of crazy with a compass or something sharp on the top. I mean, this cabinet's been through a bit, to be fair. So there was some holes on the top, and I thought it might have originally been woodworm, but it's not woodworm. It's someone's gotten a little bit psycho with something. You slept in until 6:15 a.m. It's not good enough, okay? It's just not good enough. I'm joking. So yeah, there was all holes in the top, and then one of the drawers looks like it's been thrown down the stairs. Then there was like across down these 3 bottom drawers. So there's 4 in total, top to bottom, 8 drawers in total, but 4 top to bottom. There was like scratch marks down there. I was like, has this been locked in a room with a demon? Big scratch marks, not something that a cat could do. It looked like monster marks. I'm pretty sure that a monster had like done that. And then obviously the chew marks on the corners, which again, they told me it was a dog. Actually, they didn't. They didn't even advertise it on the listing on Facebook. I asked loads and loads of questions for my customer because this possibly was going to be for a custom order, but it turned out that it wasn't the right dimensions. So I was asking a ton of questions to the seller on Facebook Marketplace. Can you send me a picture of the inside of the drawers? Is it solid pine? Loads of questions. They didn't once mention that both corners have been chewed away by a dog. They didn't mention that, did they, to me? I mean, I'm not going to grumble because it was 35 quid and it's decent pine and I have been able to rebuild those corners, but you'd think that was mentioned in the advert, wouldn't you? But no, they didn't mention that. So again, I'm just going around here with my roller. So anyone that's just tuned in, by the way, this roller is a new product that Dixie Belle have just released. I believe it's only with retailers at the moment, but it will be on the website soon. And it's a foam roller. There you go, there's a little close-up. It's a foam roller, and I've been using it quite a bit, and it works really, really well with silk and chalk and paint. Haven't used it with Terra, but sure it works fine. Although Terra is one that I would use personally with texture, so I personally wouldn't use a roller with Terra, but each to their own. You can if you want. So I'm just whacking that on, and then to create that more kind of wood grainy finish, I'm just going to lightly spray it with tap water and then get a lint-free cloth and rub away. The reason I'm using a roller is really for speed, because I've got obviously quite a big surface to cover, and it's just going to be much quicker for me to do it with a roller than a brush. So there you go. You can see it's not perfect. Also, I've just put my finger right there. You can also see the areas where I have maybe filled it or whatever. So all I'm going to do on those areas is just going to kind of go over them a little bit so that it kind of blends it in. But it's very unlikely that I'm going to be distressing around the centre of the drawer. I'm going to be concentrating some distress work around here, but it's only going to be really subtle. So like I say, this doesn't need to be perfect. It's just going to be a base coat for what is going on next. I just want it to look darker, dry quickly, not cause me any problems with bleed through or anything. So we're not going for like a beautiful, perfect finish on this because it's going to be covered. with paint. And I am going to be using Terra on this as well. And I'm only going to be using one colour of Terra on this. So I know that Terra is perfect for using like multicoloured finishes, for blending, for layering, for painterly finishes, for distressing, all the things. It works amazing. But you can also use it for one colour finishes, and I'm going to do it on this. So that's going to be my video on my channel next week. I hope it works. Anyway, if it doesn't, obviously I'll document it as well and tell you why it didn't work, because that's just how I roll. I'm too honest. So yeah, you can see how quick that was to just do that. Obviously, I've got to take the drawers out and do the kind of surrounds here as well, because that would look weird if I didn't. But I'm hoping that I can get this done before I have to go and pick my kids up from school. This might be an option for my great-grandpa's dresser. Maybe, but you don't know what I'm doing yet. It could be crazy. It could be crazy. It's not that crazy, to be fair. I just thought I'd show that you can do a one colour finish with Terra, because I know everyone's, a lot of the time when I've done, a lot of the feedback that I've done with Terra, where I have used, you know, 3 or 4 colours to layer or blend or whatever, people are like, oh yeah, that's great, but I don't really want to go out and buy 5 colours of Terra, which is fair enough. I absolutely hear you. That's why you said might, yeah. Yeah, I hear you. So yeah, I hear you don't want to go out and buy 5 different colours, so I'm just going to show you my favourite colour of all time. Can you guess what it is? It's very predictable. If you follow me, I mean, you'll get it in a second. But yeah, that's what I thought I'd show you, to just try and do a more simple one colour finish using Terra clay paint. So fingers crossed it all kind of comes together and the plan kind of works in my head, because sometimes the plan does not come to fruition and we have to change the game, but that's fine. That's vintage furniture for you, isn't it? So I've got 4 more drawers to do. 4 more. That one's got a lot of knots all over it. We're going to embrace it all. We are going to embrace everything. There's dings in this. I have, like I say, I filled the worst of this. I mean, I didn't want it to completely look like it had been in a kind of accident, but I do want to embrace the kind of rusticness of it. So there are a few dings in this. I've actually really impressed myself the way that I've rebuilt the corners, because one thing that you won't see me doing much of is repair work. I'm sorry, I hate it. I hate it. I even hate putting handles on. Hate putting handles on. I'm too impatient. I just want to get it done. Oh, your coffee isn't the same without cream and sugar. No, it isn't. Can you look forward to one tomorrow, though, instead? I know you can't have one today, but tomorrow. I'm just looking on the camera to see if I've missed any bits. Again, just kind of that, just lightly spritzing it with water just kind of helps you remove the excess off. So if you did want to give your furniture a stain and you haven't got wood stain and you didn't want to go out and purchase wood stain, test is in now. After that I'm golden. Can you add, oh that's good, go crazy after that hour then. Hide all chat messages, all messages are visible. There we go, got you back. Can we do any colour to get a wood look? Yeah, absolutely. I've chosen the darkest brown pretty much that there is in the range. Yeah, definitely the darkest within the silk range anyway. But you can do a paint wash in any colour. You don't even have to make it look like wood. You can do a paint wash in blue. And you can expose the wood grain just by doing this exact technique. So all you need to do is get your chosen paint, add a little bit of water to it. The more water you add, the less pigmented your colour wash is going to be, and just whack it on. So a colour wash ideally needs to go over the top of raw wood, because you do want it to soak into the wood grain. Otherwise, it's just going to sit on top of the existing finish. So this was varnished. So I had to sand all the varnish off. That was yesterday. And basically expose the raw wood, because raw wood is porous and it's going to soak the wood, or the colour wash in this case. It's going to soak that into the wood grain. If I hadn't have stripped it, it just sits on top. So it's not going to kind of do the same thing. So you do have to expose the wood grain to get this kind of look. But if you've got an electric sander or a scraper, you can, this didn't take me very long to do at all. So just sand in the direction that the wood grain's going, sand your old finish off, and then you can colour wash in everything. Like Stephanie just said, it was green. I've done light colour washes, dark colour washes. You can do anything. You could do green, you could do blue, you could do pink. You could go crazy and you could do 17 different colours. But the idea is still the same thing. You just get some paint. That was a big bang, wasn't it? That was a lorry going past. You just get paint, water it down, brush it on, and then if you want to leave a more solid colour like I did before I wiped it back, you can just leave it, but it will look like more of a solid colour finish, as opposed to me wiping it back. You get to see the wood grain, so it makes it look like a dark wood finish, as opposed to just one kind of block colour. If I'd have just left it, you would have just been able to see the wood grain, because like I say, my paint is watered down, but it's not quite as prominent as this. So that's the process that I normally do when I do a paint wash. So paint it on, wipe it off before it's had a chance to start drying, and then it gives you this effect. It does look really good with pretty much any colour. This wood is knotty pine. It's knotty pine. I've gone through all the steps that I've taken so far to prep this, and you'll notice that it's not absorbed around the knots, and that's because there's a product on top of those knots to stop it from bleeding through. But I am going for a really kind of rustic look anyway, so I don't mind so much. But I have treated the knots with a very, very specific product, because pine wood and knots can present problems even if you prime. So it's always a good idea to treat those. But if you want to know what the full kind of process, the steps are that I take to prep pine, then you're going to have to wait till next week. You have to wait until I've done the video. Well, you'll have to wait until I've done it first. I haven't even painted the damn thing. And then I've got to edit the video, upload the video, all the things. So yeah. Anything else to tell you? I don't think so. I don't have to rush off quite so quick, but I haven't really got anything else to say. My kids don't come out now till 3:25, which is giving me just a little bit more wiggle room in the afternoon. So I don't have to rush off. Normally I'm blah, 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 and then I'm out. But I don't need to do that. But I don't have anything else to show you or tell you today. So that's that. Although it has been 28 minutes. You were going to ask about the kids. Yeah, they're back at school. They are back at school. The house is quiet. I don't know if I really like it very much. I'll be honest. I love having them at home. The only downside is I work from home, and it can be a little bit sometimes working from home and having them at home. And then literally the second day of term, back to school, Nancy brought home a letter for applications for secondary school. So needless to say, I was a little bit sick in my mouth about that. That was not, it took me, but I know she's going to secondary school this time next year, but I didn't need the letter so soon. I was like, ugh. We're getting the outside of our house painted today, so that's fun. Ooh, what colour is it being painted? I find that using a roller is faster and no lines. Yeah, it's definitely faster. Speed painting all the way with a roller. And this one is really, really good. I've been using it with silk. I've been using it with chalk mineral paint. It doesn't leave track marks. It's very, very user friendly. It's beginner friendly. So if you've never used a roller before, and the handle is, it's got a nice grip to it. It's nice. Some handles I like a bit weird, but it's a good handle. It's a good paint tray. And if I'm doing decorating to my house, I'm going to be using a roller. And if I was just doing that in one colour, I'd be using a roller. But I am going to be doing it in one colour, but I'm going to be in Terra. I'm going to be doing texture with Terra, so I'm not going to be using a roller. So yeah, that's all I've got to report this week. That's it. That's pretty boring, isn't it? I've normally got a funny story to tell you. I don't think I have. I got chased by cows the other day. Yeah, that was a little bit scary. Feared for my life for a second. Had to think fast. Bearing in mind, I grew up with cattle, worked on dairy farms. A little bit scared. Not going to lie. But yeah, nothing eventful's happened really. So that's it. But I will be. Can you buy dark filler? Yes, you can buy dark filler. You can buy different coloured filler. It's just that I'm not being overly precious about the filler on this because it's going to be painted over. You're not going to see the areas. If I was staining this, if I was just wanting a stain, if I just wanted this to be a dark wood finish, and wood finishes are seriously trending right now. But if I just wanted to stain this, strip it and stain it and give it a dark wood finish, there are things that you can buy that will cover areas of damage like filler that's a different colour. I've just used white because that's the colour that I've got, and I'm not buying another one. You can also use Dixie mud. So for smaller areas, generally if I've got an old hardware hole, I use Dixie mud for small areas like this, and that comes in white, brown and black, and you can also tint the white to any colour that you want. So if you wanted to do a blue stain on this, you could tint the white Dixie mud with a little bit of your blue paint to get it to go the same colour as your paint finish, so that it disguises it better and you're not trying to cover white filler. But I haven't used Dixie mud on this because I had to rebuild an entire corner there and there, so I've used a slightly different one. The puppies are fine. Bella got stung by a wasp on her paw this morning, so she's feeling a little bit sorry for herself, but I did give her a little treat for being brave, but she's not coming to me. She thinks that I'm gonna... Belle. We've got a wasp nest, and it's been treated, and we found a wasp on the floor, and she trod on it this morning. So yeah, she's here she is. She was really brave, and it didn't stop her chasing rabbits this morning across the fields. So this is the scruffy one. She hasn't been on my social media for a while. Yeah, but there she is. Say hello to the people. Hi, she's so scruffy. But yeah, that's Bella. And the other 3 hounds are asleep in there. So yeah, Bella's my shadow. She's a rescue. So she's got issues, but she's quirky and we like her. So that's it. That's all I've got. And she's going to knock the tripod over now because she's really leggy and clumsy. Yeah, don't do that. I was just filming for YouTube and I was trying to talk to the camera and they all jumped up and barked. So that'll probably make a great outtake. Anyway, I'm not going to keep you any longer because I am just rambling now. I'm not even making any sense. I'm boring myself, to be quite honest with you. So I will catch you same time. Bella is sweet. She is. She's so sweet. I'll catch you same time next week. I'll be on a different project. This will be long gone. This will be finished. she says. Have a great day, everyone. And thanks for joining me, as always. I will catch you next time. Bye.